again, yogis, and welcome back to the Yogi Blair YouTube channel. Today's video is a request from Cassie, who wanted to learn more about gentle yoga. So gentle yoga is great for all kinds of people. It's not just for people that can't do regular yoga. Maybe you are an athlete and you need a recovery day. Maybe you're a seasoned yogi and you're just not mentally in the space to do power yoga today. Maybe you're recovering from an injury and need a more gentle practice until that injury heals itself a little further. Or maybe you're suffering from a chronic illness and power yoga is just not where we're at just yet. Or maybe you're a beginner and you want to start more gentle and build your practice. All of these answers are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with starting out gentle and working our way up. I've had a couple people reach out to me and for different reasons have said that they've tried yoga and it hurt and they did not like the way it made them feel. And my suggestion, that sounds to me like the class was just not the right class. Maybe it was like a hot power class that you started out with, or maybe the asanas that were being taught weren't what your body needed, because yoga should never hurt. Yoga is something that is accessible to everybody. So there's something that we can find for anybody that wants to practice, and it will be the proper fit for you. We just have to find out what that practice is. So be patient with yourself. Try not to get frustrated. It's okay if your body isn't where you think it should be. I always try to let students know that maybe we observe the body before class. If you do that centering video, check in with the physical body, but don't label sensation as good or bad. So often, if we're coming back from an injury or if we have an issue going on in the body, we look at the body as dysfunctional. And with yoga, we try to bring it back to a neutral state. That doesn't mean that you can't be angry with what's going on. It's perfectly acceptable to be frustrated. It's perfectly acceptable to be mad. It's perfectly acceptable to feel like crap sometimes. But what we want to do when we get into this headspace is to get into a space where we can try to let that go so that we can feel better. So what we're gonna do is maybe we do that body scan in the centering video and not label anything as good or bad, not label your body as wrong or right, but just seeing what's there and observing. And it may be different from day to day. You might come back to do the same video tomorrow and things feel completely different. That's normal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start in an easy seated posture for this gentle class. And what you might want to do is invest in some props or find things around your house that you can turn into props. If you watch my restorative yin video, I took household items to make things like bolsters and things to help prop us up. I will tell you that yoga blocks are very cheap on Amazon. They might not be the best of quality, but they'll work just fine. A foam block is a foam block. I personally prefer cork blocks, but this guy on Amazon, this set was, I think, less than $5. So if you want to grab those on Amazon Prime with free 2-day shipping, you'll have a set of blocks that might help make your practice a little more gentle to begin with. You can take one of those blocks and set up on it, bringing the sits bones to the block here to take a couple minutes to center. And once you feel centered, maybe keeping the block there, maybe removing the block. And we're just gonna start to gently wake up the body here. So in a gentle class, we don't just wanna get right into moving too rigorously. So why don't we just start with swaying from side to side, really thinking of feeling into the ribs here, noticing sensation, feeling like your ribs are being pulled from side to side. Starting to wake up the spine here. This is gonna help get those vertebrae moving. We're getting into the obliques and the intercostal muscles by engaging the side body. And then from here, we can come back through center if it's comfortable to do some body rolls. We could exhale to roll through center, inhale to lift the torso. Exhale to roll through center, inhale to lift. If something hurts, don't roll as far. So if it hurts you to come down here, if you're feeling pinching anywhere, lift up and just roll through center that way. Find a space that does not hurt. Keeping in mind that discomfort in a stretch, because you're stretching the muscles, is different than pain. Anytime you feel numbness, pain, pinching or tingling, that is a sign that you need to come out of a posture, switching directions in this roll whenever you're ready. Noticing if you're starting to loosen up. Noticing if things start to feel a little better. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Notice sensation here. What do you feel? Nothing? Maybe some tightness in the shoulders. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Things are starting to warm up. Things are starting to get moving. If we have stiffness, that is completely normal for when we start our practice, for things to kind of feel tense and tight and stiff. Being the observer here, tapping into sensation, noticing when things start to feel loose. Notice when things start to warm up. Bring the hands back to heart center. Now let's take that right hand out to the side, reach the left arm up. Feeling the stretch in the left side body here. Does this feel like stretching or is there pain? If there's pain, lift up and sit up straight. If there's not pain and you don't feel a stretch, lean a little further over. Inhale up through center, reaching through those fingertips. Exhale, other side. Maybe staying straight first. And over time, seeing if we can lean to the left. Wherever we are, we want to try to keep both sits bones on the mat or on that block. And then finding some fluidity here, finding some movement. Going as fast or as slow as you want. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to plant the hand and reach over. Move with the breath. Taking this as gently as you'd like. So then from here we come up through center and let's take the hands, planting them down, lifting up onto the hands and the knees. So I'm going to turn the way you should be on your mat so you can see. So as you can see here, I am stacking my hips right over my knees, my shoulders. We try to get right over the wrists. Spread the fingertips wide. Create a nice base here. Untuck the toes if you can, setting the tops of the feet flat on the mat. We're going to move into our cat-cows. Inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, curl the spine in, tuck the tailbone, bring the gaze down towards the navel, press out of the shoulders. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. Moving again with the breath. After your last round, finding a neutral spine, what we're going to do is find a spinal extension. This helps strengthen the spine, strengthen the back, strengthen the core. So there are many different levels here that we can take. Honor your space, honor where you are today. Let's take that right foot behind us, planting the toes first on the mat, flexing the foot, pressing that heel towards the back of the room. Just starting to feel a stretch here. We'll take that left hand out in front of us. If it's comfortable, we can always keep that hand planted. If this hurts you, don't do it. Option to stay, option to lift that right foot off of the mat, flexing the foot, keeping the hips square. Now from here, we can engage the core and use the back muscles to lower the foot in the hand. Inhaling to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Starting to add some strength building into a gentle class. Just because it's gentle doesn't mean you can't build strength. And then after your last round, planting that left hand down, walking it back to meet the right, bringing that right knee in, extending the left foot. Option to stay here. Option to reach the right hand out. Option to lift the left leg and hold. Exhale, lower if you can. Inhale, rise. There are many different options. And then bringing that right hand to meet the left when we're done, bringing the knees to meet. Now, if it's comfortable, we're gonna find a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So walk the hands maybe a hand length in front of you, spread the fingertips wide. And from here, roll the shoulders down the back, externally rotating, tuck the toes, lift the hips. So my middle fingers are facing forward. If your shoulders are more externally rotated, you might want to turn those middle fingers outward just slightly. My shoulders are still rolling down the back, opening the shoulders here. Head is heavy. Maybe walking the feet in a couple of inches. The hips are sent towards the sky. Thighs have a gentle internal rotation. Now, depending on what's going on with the feet, the heels might not reach the mat. That's okay. Heels reach forward, but never have to touch the mat. Back is flat, chest is melting towards the thighs. With time, the shoulders will open, and the head will reach towards the mat and hang heavy. We can pedal the feet here. This will help to strengthen those ankles, but is still a gentle movement. Down dog is not an easy posture as a beginner. The shoulders get tired fast. And that's okay. If you need to come out of this, come out. Now from here, we'll find a still down dog. Really feeling that stretch in the ankles up the backs of the legs. Always the option to drop the knees down and find a sort of modified child's pose. And then from here, let's just walk those hands to the feet, gently, slowly moving. Exhale, find a forward fold, Uttanasana. So trying to make sure again that those hips are over the knees, over the ankles. If you feel pulling in the low back here, put a bend in those knees, flatten the back, find space in the vertebrae like they're being pulled from both ends. The navel, imagine it's being pulled towards the mat and folding in with a flat back. You'll get a better stretch in the backs of the legs with the knees bent if you feel the back pulling here. Once you've found your edge, let the head hang heavy. Let's inhale, find a half lift. So hands can come to the shins to stabilize. Really lengthening through that spine. Finding space in the vertebrae. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rooting through the feet, maybe bending the knees to protect the low back. Let's sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, fold. And we can do this as many times as we want. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up, protect the low back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, folding with a flat back. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And instead of going through a vinyasa, we'll just step it back to a down dog. Let's lower the knees, find child's pose. Let's inhale, lift the hips, and let's find Sphinx. So we're gonna walk those knees back, lower onto the belly. Spread the fingertips wide, plant them on the mat, press up onto the forearms, making sure that the shoulders are right over the elbows here. This is a bit of a back bend. So if there's an injury to the low back, and this is uncomfortable, what we can do is engage the glutes to protect the low back. If this does not hurt you, we want to try to soften the glutes, soften the hamstrings, soften the thighs into the mat, letting the heels splay out to the sides. If this is still not working for you, we can come down. We can take one of those blocks that we have, or a pillow or anything. We can bring our forehead to that. This might help. Or maybe you just need to come to the mat itself. We want to try to get a little bit of an arch in the back. It doesn't have to be much, but we're just working to strengthen that spine. Over time, the spine will strengthen, and you might be able to find seal, where we bring the hands to the outer edges of the mat, lifting the forearms off of the mat. This is an intense back bend, so if the spine's not there yet, don't do it. From here, lower down, bring the hands under the shoulders, press it back. You'll want to counter this pose with a child's pose, bringing the knees together to really round the back. Inhale, come up, set the hips off to one side, swing the legs around. And then let's find our seated forward fold here, lifting through the spine, creating that nice L shape. We can hold here in Dandasana. This is staff pose. And what this does is this helps us work our core so that we can hold the back up nice and tall. Eventually, maybe being able to move the hands away so that we can still hold ourselves up without falling back. This is a gentle way to strengthen the core and strengthen the spine. From here, we'll inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, just like in our standing forward fold for Paschimottanasana. And again, if you feel pulling in the low back here, this is a stretch for the backs of the legs. So if you feel a rounding and a pulling in the low back, just bend those knees, send the navel towards the thighs, and surrender in. We'll inhale, come up, reclining onto our backs. And then we're gonna find some twists. Twists are great for the spine. They strengthen the spine. Just being mindful that you're twisting properly and that you're not holding for too long. You can take twists at night before bed. They're just a great pose for the back. They help with digestion if you're having indigestion. They help release toxins from the body. So a good twist, a good gentle twist. Let me see if there's a way that I can face you so you can see. You're gonna recline onto your back. And you're gonna hug the knees into the chest. And then from here, we wanna set the hips off to the left side so that your spine and your sacrum are in the same line. That's gonna be the safest way to twist. Then we let the knees fall to the right side,
stacking the knees on top of one another, trying to get them as close to the navel as we can. From here, you can take that right hand and just hug the knees. You can tee the arms out. If the neck allows, you can bring the gaze over the left shoulder. And you can hold this for as long as is comfortable, up to a few minutes on each side. Inhale, come up through center, set the hips off to the other side, bring the knees up towards the chest, letting them fall. Bringing the gaze over the right shoulder. And you can hold that twist for as long as you need. So these are some gentle yoga stretches to help strengthen the body and stretch out without causing too much impact, without building too much heat. It's just a very nice, gentle way to start the day and to end the day. So I recommend, if you're dealing with a lot of stiffness, if you're dealing with a lot of pain, if you have a lot of injuries or anything of that nature, when you wake up in the morning, try to just do a couple of these stretches. You don't have to do an entire yoga practice, but just try to do maybe some twists, maybe some forward folds, and then at night do some stretches and some strengthening as well. I highly recommend, if you have any sort of injury or chronic illness that sort of affects the mental state and sort of is draining on you and wearing on you, to practice mindfulness as well. I have an app on my phone called Calm, and it's a great mindfulness app that teaches you how to meditate. And meditation and sort of resetting that mental space is a huge help in dealing with chronic pain. I have been dealing with chronic pain since I was a teenager or even a kid, and mindfulness and yoga are one of the many things that have helped me deal with fibromyalgia and really get into a state where I almost don't notice it anymore because of the way that I take care of my body. And that's not to say that that's the same for everybody. That's not to say that yoga is going to heal you. These videos are not medical information. They're not designed to replace medical treatment. I am not a doctor. I'm just letting you know that I do have my own chronic pain issues, and yoga has helped tremendously. And one of the biggest things for me when dealing with the depression and the anxiety and the anger that comes with these things is mindfulness and meditation. So I hope that these things helped you. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at yogiblairfortwayne@gmail.com. If you're friends with me on Facebook or Instagram, you're free to slide into my DMs, as the young kids say, and shoot me a message if you have questions, concerns, or if you'd like me to make a video for you, I can do that as well. Feel free to visit my website. There is a link in the banner on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please click subscribe to the channel. I would love to continue to see you all watching these videos. Feel free to comment on these videos. Let me know what works for you or what you'd like to see more of. And I look forward to seeing you all back here for our next video. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I wish happiness and freedom to all living things. And may the words, thoughts, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to happiness and freedom for all. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Namaste.